The writing for Watch Out was very similar to the writing for the first record. It was all done in my mother's basement in St. Catharines.
We just sat in a room and worked out ideas.
We'd been on the road so much, so we kind of came back with all these ideas, these little ideas, no songs.
I mean, there was probably a couple of like ideas that were held over, like that became songs, you know, like, because there's always like riffs that you think are going to become something and then they just don't have to end up working, but I always like to keep things around.
I think we started to make more structured songs. Like before, in the beginning, it was just like, okay, I got a part. Okay, put a part after that, part, and then okay, it's about 4 minutes long now, that's a song. You know, like, whereas now we were like, okay, let's try making some songs that have like choruses.
You know, we played probably at least 300 shows a year. So when he came back into the studio, I think we were all playing a little bit different. We knew maybe not what we wanted to sound like, but I think we had a better idea of what we didn't want to sound like.
There was talk about like maybe starting to wean out the screaming, and that I think is reflected in that record, in that there's not like, it's a little bit more Dallas heavy and a little bit more whatever. So yeah, we were trying to struggle to find out what was going on and how it was going to be, and I think there was a time where my presence was a bit of a question mark, as if I was going to continue to be in the band.
We'd been on the road with completely metalcore bands and hardcore bands, and we wanted to try and push the melodic elements of the band a little bit further.
We were kind of making these longer, kind of soundscapey kind of songs that were a little bit more indulgent. But we also got to meet Julius Butty, who recorded the Watch Out, and that started our kind of relationship, which carried on throughout the band.
This was our first time working with Juice. We recorded out in Hamilton, out in the country, on Hamilton Mountain, at his farm. And you know, he really became like a sixth member of the band.
Again, we didn't have tons of money to go and hire like some crazy rock god. But then again, I don't think we wanted that either. You know, we wanted someone who would help us just present our ideas in a better way.
He really helped us elevate our playing, our singing, just the way we looked at making records.
I think Juice did a lot to make all of us better. He, especially George and me, as far as our singing. Like, Juice has got a great sense of melody, and he was very tough on me as a singer in the vocal booth, and he was tough on George. Like, I think he really sort of made George believe that he wasn't just this kid screaming, that not only were George's lyrics great, but that he should try to pronounce them and be a forefront in the band.
2 weeks in the studio and right back out on the road for the next couple of years.
I mean, I always thought I could be a singer and a guitar player in a band, but I never thought about listening to my songs on the radio or watching videos on TV, because I just didn't think it would happen.
People from radio stations were coming out telling us we were their favorite band, and then I would ask them why they don't play us on their station and say we can't.
And so when it started happening, it was kind of just like this extra, but sort of like a cherry on top kind of thing, you know? It was just another way for more people to find out about us so that we could go more places.
Christmas wasn't so awkward anymore, because someone could be like, oh, I heard your song on the radio. But then also people kind of like assume that if you're on the radio, then you're like, you know, a millionaire or something like that too, so.
During this album cycle, we went to the UK for the first time. We went there not knowing if our record was out, if anybody cared about us. And we got there and our tour was sold out. It was all in small bars, but our record was out. And all the shows were sold out and people knew the words, which really blew us away.
That's when we first got to go to Japan, and that's when we first got to go to Australia. And Wade and I had this thing when we started the band that we said if we could ever get to Japan, then we'll have succeeded. Because we thought if we could go all the way to the other side of the world, to a country that no one speaks, you know, we don't speak the same language, and we can go there just because we play guitar and sing these songs, then that's success. We've done it.
It's like a magic trick. The fact that the both of us were in Japan because we play guitar.
We always set very small, attainable goals that we thought we could reach. And then when we reached them, we would just sort of like move on from there.
We dream up these massive concepts for our music videos, and I think after this, and it took a few more, we realized, I might be okay at playing the guitar. I am not a good actor. And it took us a few more videos like this to realize that. But they all turned out really cool, but it's funny. Our acting, not the best. We would have went to the NVAs for the first time on Watch Out. The guy who runs our old label had got us a Hummer to show up in, which is I think the most quintessential non-Alexisonfire thing in a vehicle. And we were all being a little bit too nice, and we said, yeah, okay, we'll show up in the Hummer. So we did, and it was the worst.
We lost our award the second we walked in. Like, our award was announced and we lost. And then we went to the open bar and we all got really drunk.
We got really drunk because the booze was free. We were up for an award that was given out like before the ceremony. Like, they give out all these awards while the red carpet's happening. And we had a show that night. We were playing at the Opera House that night. So we were on tour.
And we phoned it in. Like, we were a mess. So that was the first Much Music Video Awards experience.
Just a bunch of kids. We had started this thing, and it had become our lives now. It had become a career. It had become everything that I think we all wanted, but at the same time, much bigger than we ever thought it could.
Jesse was on his way out, and that's when Jordan kind of became involved. We toured with Jordan's old band, Jersey, and we'd known him for a long time. We knew he was a really good drummer.
Alexis and Jersey toured all over Canada together a couple times, and when the guys needed somebody quick, they had like a week between tours. They called me up and were like, can you learn like 13 songs in a week and then go to start a full tour of the States with Rise Against and then go to Europe? I was like, yeah, I can probably do that. Yeah, that sounds like a fun time.
We weren't sure what it was going to be like because it was a different type of music for him.
Yeah, Watch Out was difficult. The songs on that record were a little hard to learn. Happiness by the Kilowatt was probably one of my favorite songs to play live from Watch Out, or from any record for that matter. And I unfortunately didn't record it, but I still, playing it live was amazing. It was super, super rad.
Happiness by the Kilowatt. Still, to this day, my favorite Alexisonfire song.
I feel like almost like the first show that we played live, I remember hearing like the difference, and it was then that you kind of knew that he was going to be in the band. There wasn't going to be going back after this, and we were going to have some tough decisions to make in the future.
All the guys came into the back lounge of the bus. Were like, "Beard, we want to talk to you." I was like, "Sure." Like, we want you to be in the band full time. I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that."